Pretty good. How about you? I see they got something about it.
Yeah, great.
No refreshments?
No, not today. I didn't have enough time.
We had to bring our own.
I got a lollipop.
There you go. Thank you. I like this piece of architecture. You've been in here, you're in the construction of it? Yeah, I'm sort of skeleton. Yeah. Oh my God.
Right, rather than start up. No, of course. That's the kind of drives. Right. Oh, that's my stuff. Then you gotta figure out what I want to get rid of.
Well, you know what I did is I spent on squat. So all my articles was gonna go on. And then I put it back.
Yeah.
I've got a minute, I've got a minute. Hurry up.
Yeah, I know. A long way away compared to. We're waiting for some more agendas to be copied and brought out for, we didn't expect this one. Social, but it's great.
Recording in progress.
Look at it.
The lady at the checkout.
It's great to see this many people at a meeting. Hopefully it'll continue on a bi-monthly basis. Welcome.
Would have been nice if you had refreshments for us.
Yeah, you know, Joe,
Coming tomorrow.
She already did.
give him a mystery plate.
You good? You good or no? Yes? Can we open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Commissioner Gannett?
Here. Here.
Commissioner Wineup's absent. Vice Chair Leek is absent. Commissioner Wolbinski
I'm here.
and Commissioner Winup.
Here.
Valerian, sorry.
Close enough.
Public comment limited to 5 minutes per person. Please state your name if you're a township resident. Mr. Love.
Hi, my name is Mark Love, I'm a township resident.
And then that light is not turned on.
No. Let the technical people.
Yes.
Good. I think it operates. Easy now. The family.
Hold on.
It's always dangerous to give Mark love.
I'll
They might have want to rethink that.
I'll scream anyway. First of all, congratulations on your new digs. I have a housewarming gift for you that I'd like to present to you tonight. Commissioners and members of the public, my name is Mark Love. I'm a retired attorney. I've lived here in Pocono Township for over 45 years. For a majority of that time, our township has been fortunate to have a library serving the needs of our residents. Although I understand the reasoning behind this decision, I was saddened to hear that the Eastern Monroe Library Board voted to close its Pocono Township branch effective July 3. I decided I had to do something about this. Accordingly, I offered my services free of any charge to the library and the township to serve as a mediator/facilitator to keep the library open. As such, my role is not to point fingers and find fault, but rather to help both parties find a solution that works for all. I submitted to the township a list of maintenance issues that was brought to my attention by the library. The most critical concern is whether the library space is safe to use for its staff and the public because of moisture or possible mold issues. These concerns are genuine, even if based on hearsay, innuendo, or actual facts. I understand that you have an agenda item tonight concerning these issues and urge you to favorably agree to resolve them. If we can be assured by a clearance certificate that the building is safe and sound and that you will promptly address the other issues raised by the library, I can report as follows. As a first step, admittedly a baby step, I have obtained the consent of the library board to extend its closing date by 90 days to allow the township to promptly address the library's concerns. During this time, I will do all in my power to foster an agreement to keep the library in its present location for approximately the 24 or so months as previously offered by the township. During that period, I will work with all parties to try to develop plans for a permanent location for the library within the township that will safely meet the needs of our community. After all, Pocono and Jackson Township taxpayers pay a dedicated library tax every year and deserve a meaningful return on their investment in the future of our community. I thank the board and the township for your efforts to keep our library alive and look forward to working with all parties on this worthy project. And tonight in the audience is the chairman of the board of the library. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who wishes to make a public comment in the audience? Yes.
My name is Cheryl Parks. I've been a resident for 38 years. I know tonight you're supposed to be ruling on the nuisance for the kennel. Can you still do it without the two other commissioners doing it?
It depends on the vote, but yes, we're going to do it one way or the other.
All right, well, I just wanted to give you an update. I have on the end of my property a den of foxes that has 4 young foxes. They've been there for years. It's probably like the 3rd or 4th generation. And last week, one of the kennel guys was walking down with a bag and walked past my driveway, came back without the bag, and then I got him on video again. And apparently he was dumping dog food next to one of my trees. I did call the police. He got a citation for illegal dumping or whatever. I don't know if dog food's going to count or not. But we have a nuisance bear already on our road. And I don't understand why you would do that, because it's luring the foxes out onto the road. They've got people that come to their house every single day for like an hour and a half that are driving like 30 miles an hour up our road. So it seems to me if you're dumping that, they're going to get run over. Otherwise, they're on my property. The other thing is it brings in all other kind of, right now we have the bear. The bear was in there. And not to mention that the mother fox now is teaching those young ones how to hunt, and that screws everything up. So now they have another citation. And today the same people came again. They had 2 kids that were running around, and the kids are running all over my property. I'm tired of calling the police. But if those kids fall on my property, what do you think is going to happen? I'm probably going to get sued. So I just do not understand why these folks do not understand where their property lines are. Maybe that's why they should have had a formal site plan and they would know where their boundaries are. but this just keeps happening and happening. The dogs barking are horrendous, the amount of traffic is horrendous, and I do hope you vote to pass the nuisance law for the kennel. Thank
You
you.
can't call the game commission regarding that there, maybe they'll remove it.
Pardon me?
You can call the game commission.
Yeah, I know, they gave me, rubber cartridges for my shotgun.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Anyone else in the audience wish to make a public comment? Yes, sir?
Hi, my name is Tom Van Zandt, Pocono Township, Bartlesville. And I got some questions I've been hearing. I don't know all the background, I don't know all the facts on this library thing, but I've heard things, and that's why I came here to ask. You should have the answers. So, one thing I heard is that maybe a year ago, the library was told they could be in this building. And then there were actually plans, architectural drawings shown to the people in the library that there was a site for them here. And then somehow that went away, and I was wondering how that went away, why it went away, why they can't be in this building. It seems like a pretty big building to me, but I don't know all the ins and outs of what's going in here. But the library told me there's former library in here, there's shelving, it would work perfect, and they were gonna be in here, and now they're not. I don't know.
The previous manager may have mentioned that to the library. I'm not aware of that. I haven't talked to Mr. Munoz if he did do that. But the plans for this building has changed. Everything from this wall here to the other side of the building will be a police station in the next year to 2 years. And that's where the existing library was. So that was, things changed.
Well, there was always gonna be a police station here, wasn't there?
Not necessarily on that side of the building.
But always in this building, right?
It would always be somewhere in this building.
So there's no space in here for a library?
As of right now, no, sir.
None?
No, sir.
No space?
No, sir.
Big place.
I understand.
Is something going on here besides the police and you guys?
Potentially, yes.
Potentially,
Yes.
but not potentially a library.
Not a library, no, that's correct. The township purchased Glenwood Hall, which is right next to TLC Park. And over the next couple of years, as of today, it'll be renovated, and the library was offered space in that building to put the library.
Why did the township purchase Glenwood Hall?
Why did we? It was the last historic building, at least this is my opinion, I can't speak for the other commissioners. It was the last historic building in our town. If it would've went up for sale, you may have another, McDonald's, Hardee's, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have the last building, and it's right next to our park. It added 5 extra acres to our park.
Seems like it would be an expensive renovation.
It could be.
Because the building, I understand, is kind of dilapidated inside. Well, anyway, no hope for the library ever coming into this building,
No, sir.
even though,
Not as of right now.
even though there were architect's plans for it to be.
There was never any architectural plans.
Oh, somebody lied to me.
I don't know, because when I was in 16, 17, we did look here, so I don't know about the plans, but we did talk about the library coming here. It was thought of, whether it's in the plan or not, I don't remember, but, it was a thought.
I know, I talked to the library and they said they announced that they were gonna get out of there because they couldn't get anything definite going on here.
They could stay in the present location for at least up to 2 years. They don't have to move. While they're moving there, there'll be a motion on the floor later on this evening to rectify some of the issues that they brought to our attention through Mr. Love.
Mold issues.
There's no mold issues in that building. But we'll try to dig up it was all service was brought in, cleaned up the humidity that was in the building and in the, I'll let you talk.
Yeah, last year, Serpro had mitigated the mold issue. It wasn't even a mold issue, it was a leak issue. And township paid $12,000 to Serpro to mitigate that.
So they could stay where they are.
Oh, they've been told. We're not evicting them. We're not telling them they have to leave.
All the issues will be addressed.
If in fact they stay, they want a new sink, they would like new carpeting, and the threshold at the door they would like replaced. And if they stay, Well, we'll see.
Another question. What is the township's plans for that building with the police moving out of there?
Both buildings eventually have to be, at this present time.
I didn't catch that, what was it?
Pardon?
I didn't catch what you said, what's the plans for the building?
The plan as of today is probably to demolish those two buildings. And we have equipment that's outside 24/7, dump trucks, backhoes, and whatever else.
Township equipment.
The township, yeah, expensive township equipment, and eventually the road crew would stay there and potentially have larger garage area.
Okay.
So that is what's currently built into the budget, under the capital budget or sewer construction. There is a 60 by 40 building set to be erected over there. Once the police building is knocked down, police tentative plans to move into here would be December of 2026.
When you say the police building will be knocked down, and that is also the building, the library building will be knocked
No,
down?
that's a different building, that's the administration building.
Oh, okay.
What makes that building a little unique is that the electric for the entire campus goes through that building. We did get prices 2 or 3 years ago, and it would be about 6 figures to relocate that electric to their each respective building. So, as the plans eventually are to knock that building down, there's nothing set in stone at this point, just due to the electricity issue, of it being all in one building for 3 buildings.
Okay, well, thank you, you answered my question.
Have a nice evening. Anyone else in the audience wish to make a public? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Robin Coons. I live in Pocono Haven down Cherry Lane. And I'm a friend of the library. I've been using the library and was very surprised when I pulled up and there was a sign on the door. My questions are, you're saying that you will give them another 2 years there and then waiting until the building that was purchased or donated to the township. What do we have as far as a timeline when that building is gonna be available or ready for usage?
What building are we talking about, ma'am?
The one where you don't want parties.
Glenwood Hall?
Yeah.
As of right now, there isn't a timeline, and that'll be up to the commissioners to decide in the future, possibly next year sometime, on what happens with that building when the renovations would start.
Okay, and it's also my understanding that the library was told that they would have to help with fundraising in order to help move things along to get the building up and running so that it could be occupied. Is that true?
Fundraising was brought up in that email, the board was on back in January, but nothing, no requirements. We just, we finished the email with, we look forward to building our dream library together.
But in looking at that building, aren't we looking at quite a large bit of money? Do we have anything set aside for it or ready to work with for that?
Not as of today, no.
No, okay.
Right now, there's no immediate plans, just to get the police over to their side, and the other part where we call the wedge, we're under negotiations with the county right now. The county will be renting the back end of the building out.
Well, with this, I would just like to urge you to look somewhere that we could put a library here in this building, which is well suited for it. We have children that have, we have that wonderful, the parks and things like that. So we have things for the kids to do in the summer. The thing that they would be doing in the winter would be going to a library, and it's certainly something that the township should be supporting. And it just seems to me, and again, a lot of it is, hearsay and whatever, but that we're not getting any firm answers or definitive timelines on how long the library can stay there. And if it's a building that's used by the public, it certainly has to be brought up to standards. So that's my thoughts.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Is there anybody else in the audience that has something?
Monica Garrity, Henryville. Jared had mentioned the last time at the meeting before that there was mention of a public comment workshop. And I just wanted to know a time and a date when that is and if it'll be in the evening.
Well, since 2 commissioners are absent tonight, I don't think we have a date that we can
Okay, but you could email them, correct? You can have like an email discussion, just so we can have something. Just for the audience, I'm looking forward to change public comment for every line item, so that if the public wants to, give their opinion instead of before the meeting and after they vote at the end of the meeting, I'm looking to have public comment during the meeting like it used to be. So I was told there was a workshop. Is that just something that you're just kind of trying to make me happy, or are you really considering?
No, I believe Commissioner Wynot's the one that recommended we have.
So
it.
could you
Have it work.
email him so that the next meeting we have a time and a date?
We'll see.
Commissioner Minot's had a state, and Vice Chair Leap just had a baby, so.
Okay, but
We can
we have email, we have
send an email.
cell phones,
So we're-
communication. Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience?
Good evening, my name is Mary Check-Ivilish, and I own the property between the Turkey Hill and the closed road, the one on Pigeon Way. And my question is, what's gonna happen with that road? Is it gonna stay like that? Or are we going to make, pull up the road and put some, take out the macadam, plant some trees? I'd like to fix my property, but at the same time, I'm looking at a sign that just says road closed. Is that the way it's gonna be, or are you doing something with that?
Well, we closed it because the bridge is condemned. It won't support vehicle traffic.
Totally understand.
Over the last couple of years, it's been talked about one time to my knowledge. We thought we would leave it there as a walking path across the bridge for
That would be
people.
lovely.
That whole intersection, will be changed, once the state, federal, and John, I guess that's what the CASA project,
Yes.
So that, Learn Road will be aligned with, as a true four-lane intersection with Old Mill. There'll be no breaking your neck when you come out to Learn Road to try to see what's coming south before you pull out. So with that, I envision, but I'll be honest with you, I probably will not be sitting here. So the pavement that's there today, up into the bridge, we've talked about taking that all out completely, planting grass,
Right.
and then, making maybe even a picnic area or something like that, but as of right now, there's been no decisions for that.
Okay, but that's something basically you're hoping to do in the future. It's just like, if I put a tenant in there, if I sell a property, but it just kind of looks really like we've abandoned the area, quite honestly.
I think the concern is with that road and the bridge that's there, if we would take the barriers away, people.
No, I want people to be safe, but I'm just saying, it totally makes sense, but you're saying that possibly, I guess I've got to have patience, possibly that is going to be something that's turned around for the positive.
I think with the CASA project, and that's bringing the sidewalks into Tannersville, and we've been in negotiations or planning with the state and federal agencies to do that, and that intersection probably is not gonna happen this construction season. Next construction, so you're talking like next April through the summer, and then.
No, I'm a very patient person, I just wanted to kind of get the idea from township, are we gonna do something with it?
That might be the time to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else in the audience? Seeing no one else is ready? Oh,
I didn't get my stutter out.
Mr. Leddy. By the way, there's more seats here. You folks don't have to stand up in the back.
My name is Dan Leddy, I'm a resident of Pocono Township. And I just want to know, has everybody here gone to a Glenwood, it's better to burn it and rebuild something?
Without forbid.
God forbid, well, anyway, I don't think that's not.
All joking aside, we
All
have
joking
every
aside.
intention of renovating that building and making it useful to the public.
Well, for a library.
For a library, for a social area,
Civic center.
senior center, civic center.
Okay, that seems like a lot. I mean, the old library from used library was moved out of
You
an
see
old
what was-
building.
You see what we did here?
Well, it was a functional
Right, but
building.
you see what we did here? Okay?
I see the room, but yeah.
Well, if you ever get a chance to walk around and you see what used to be here and what we've done, okay?
This was built about 40 years ago,
Okay,
maybe,
so
not
hold a little
125
bit.
years ago.
But the point is, we can do it.
Oh, you can do anything.
What cost?
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just my point. I just think, I really don't think that's, I didn't see a show of hands. I heard a couple voices. Everybody thinks it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea. Because first of all, we need a civic center in this township, and I've been trying to do that for a long time for seniors. So with the library right there and the civic center, I think it's a perfect opportunity. Plus the property around that location is, again, today, it's a diamond in the rough.
I'm not saying the property isn't good. I just don't think that's, I don't think that's a place
I
for
think
a library.
when the board decides to renovate that building along with hopefully the library coming in and working with us, I'm not saying financially, I'm saying working with us, the building can be renovated to support the books that they want to put in for our residents.
And for handicapped people and things like that.
Well,
The
that's
thing's all broken
it-
up.
It all has to be taken into consideration. You're right, they made apartments out of that,
Oh,
they'll be
yeah,
Wall Street, but.
And it was added on to and broken down, and you can open the door and you walk into a bathroom, you know, you.
That's
walk into a
right.
bed, it's,
That's-
but anyway,
You can do.
you've all
you can
seen
do-
it, you all think it's a good
You
idea.
can do anything.
You can do what you can do, that's true. All right, okay, well.
The biggest concern is that, is it conducive for children to be around the district magistrate and the police department?
Anyway, is there anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Don McMahon. I'm a resident of Pocono Township for 50 years or more. But what I thought I should come up here and mention, is there any way that we can see how this whole Northampton campus is being used? So, like, how much room for the police department, for public works or whatever? Because I seem to believe that there should be enough room here for a library in a building that is not ancient and will probably have to be torn down in order to make something reasonable. But I would like to revisit the thought about putting the library here. I went online and did a little bit of research, and some of the information said that libraries put in near police, law enforcement, or magistrate offices can be very beneficial to the whole community. And I would just like to, I hope that we can look at having this building used in some way for a small Pocono Township library. Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience? Anybody that dialed in by phone that wants to make a public comment? Hearing none, I'll move on with the meeting. Under announcements, an executive session was held prior to this meeting to discuss personnel and litigation. Also, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence in honor of Marie Gittrey, who was a longtime member of the Pocono Township Planning Commission with a long family history in Tannersville. Thank you very much. Under presentations, Bella, David, the Girl Scout project presentation, is she here tonight? Please. Did I get your name correctly?
Yes, Isabella Patrick. Hi, my name is Isabel Paddock, and I'm going to be presenting my gold award to you. Yes. So, I started Girl Scouts when I was in kindergarten. I was in a Daisy troop. Girl Scouts has allowed me to develop leadership skills, have amazing opportunities, and support the community. I have been in 2 different troops, my first one located in Mount Pocono and the second one in the Gouldsboro area. I've had some amazing opportunities through Girl Scouts, which include camping and camporee. I have completed all of my bridging ceremonies. I've learned how to ride horses and gone to horseback riding camp. I've done community service such as Pictures with Santa and a cereal drive for the North Pocono Food Pantry. I've gone to Camp Archibald from 2019 leading up to this year. I've been on lots of trips, including Philadelphia, and we even went on a cruise to Bermuda. I have done cookie selling almost every single year, and I've been very dedicated to that. So, what is a Gold Award? The Girl Scout Gold Award is the highest and most prestigious award in Girl Scouting. It's earned by Girl Scouts in grades 9 through 12 who identify a community issue, research it, plan a project to address it, and then carry it out with the help of an adult manner. Equivalent to the Eagle Scout Award in Boy Scouts is the Girl Scout Award in Girl Scouts. So my proposal is a park welcome board. The welcome board will be located at the entrance of the TLC park. The board will contain the following components: a URL code people can scan to see a map of the park, Girl Scout history of the local area, events the park has to offer that will take place throughout the year, and how to eradicate the spotted lanternfly from the Pocono area. This is just what the welcome board will look like. So how will I build a message board? Donation letters will be sent to local businesses to obtain materials in order to build a board. Needed materials will be gathered, and this includes lumber, hardware, plexiglass, LED lights, and that'll just make it look like aesthetically pleasing. People will help me build the board. A URL code will be developed for the map of the park. I will speak to a local Girl Scout historian to obtain the history, and I will speak with the park manager to obtain a list of the events. A URL code will be developed for the map of the park. This code will be placed behind the plexiglass and available for user-friendly people to scan the code from their phone. A small visual map will be placed next to the URL code behind the plexiglass to view the map as well. I will speak to a local Girl Scout historian to obtain the history of the area. This information will be placed behind the plexiglass. I will speak with the park manager to obtain a list of the events the park has to offer throughout the year. Lastly, a portion of the board will be dedicated to the eradication of the pesky spotted lanternfly. I will visit the local state park for more helpful information about the spotted lanternfly. People I will involve in my project include Jared Belvin, Pocono Township Manager, Jennifer Gambino, who's also a Pocono Township Manager, Miss Smith, who is a local Girl Scout historian, Brady Bear and Bobby Iannuzzi, who are helpful builders, and William Marks, who will be helpful for material. For my timeline, I hope to be finished with this project by the end of this summer, leading into my senior year of high school. Once finished, I will report my project back to Go Gold. Are there any questions or comments?
I think your presentation is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
To the point and very informative, so I'll make a motion that we allow Bella Hovick for her Girl Scout project to work with the manager for the message board at TLC Park. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, very much. We also have a presentation from, I'll kill this thing, the media for the new township website. I'm not sure how you pronounce your website. Thank you for the support.
Hello, good evening. My name is Courtney Corsino, founder and CEO of Quantify Media, and this is Megan Kresge. She is our web developer. We are here tonight to talk about a new website development for the Pocono Township website. It's a complete rehaul. The first thing I want to say is that we have a pretty deep understanding of the needs of local government, nonprofits, and what they need for delivering modern, functional, and easy to manage, navigate websites. We believe that our team is positioned to help support you guys with your digital presence and help create a vital tool for transparency and communication within your community, and can help be a central hub for public services, community resources, township updates. And our goal is to make sure that the website is as efficient, accessible, and user-friendly as possible for both you, your staff, and your residents. So why choose us? We have local expertise. We're from this area. We're born and raised in this area. We've built business in this area, and we work with a lot of businesses in this area, some who are sitting right in this room with us here tonight. We work with, like I said, government. We have contracts with local governments right here in Monroe County, as well as nonprofits. We also don't just build websites, we build tools to help your township function better and communicate more effectively. And we are your end-to-end support. From design to launch and beyond, we handle everything. You'll never have to worry about a technical issue or an update. We are your digital partner, not just a vendor. So we have a full team behind us. So myself, my husband, and then we have 8 employees who are all working behind putting every piece of this together. So what this website would include is, I know that content is big for you guys to put onto this website, updates, meeting minutes, agendas, etc., live streaming, and so there will be plenty of availability to do that. It's very easy for you guys to use on your end, and it's very easy for the community to be able to view on their end. So calendar integrations, so that all of the information that's needed to go out to the public is there. Mobile responsive, it's fully optimized, so no matter what size screen they're on, it's gonna shape shift to fit that screen. Search functionality, so when people are trying to find things through the search engines, your website is easily accessible to come up. Document management, again, that's where I touched on the public documents, forms, meeting agendas, and archives, etc., etc. SSL certificates, so everything is secure so that your residents and beyond know that when they go onto your website that it's fully secured, and that it's got the software updates, automatic backups, all of that. It's also scalable, so no matter how many pages you have 5 years from now, there's no problem with it. Just to touch on some of the websites that we've done, even here in the local area here, we've done the Pocono Fire Department website, the Strasburg Fire Department website, Dasaki Restaurant, Pocono Prayer Breakfast, the Eastburg Community Alliance, Trackside, Mila's Mulligans, and I can go on and on and on. I can give you 200 different websites that we've done. West End Fair, so we're used to dealing with boards and communities and making sure that everybody is happy at the end of the day. So your website right now is about 60 pages. That's not including kind of the documents and the downloadable PDFs, but we'll make sure that all of that's on there as well. So the web development fee, it's a one-time fee. It's $17,500, and then the annual hosting and maintenance would be $600 thereafter. So with that annual hosting and maintenance, that is everything. Updates, changes requested by you guys, routine platform maintenance, security updates, troubleshooting, and obviously the hosting itself. So you don't need to hire or train a tech team inside of you guys for the website. We will handle it all. But your staff retains full control over to making content updates that you guys choose as well. But we're here to work alongside with you guys. So no need to rebuild it again in a few years. We're able to make updates as often as you want, and that is all included in that $600 per year. So in short, we're not just building websites, we're giving Pocono Township a digital headquarters that residents can rely on and staff can easily manage. Any questions?
So the staff can upload any content they wish, so what's going on in the township, any type of presentations or agendas or whatever,
Yeah.
they have to go through.
No, it's either or. So here, we have about 80% of the people who we work with that they just send it to us, right? That's what you're paying us for. And it'll quite frankly take us 5 seconds compared to how long it might take you. But we do have people who have a certain vision in their head and they want to do it themselves, and that's fine too. We would train. What we normally suggest, especially in positions like this, is to have like 1 or 2 people that you guys have on your team that you want us to train on how to do it. It's very user friendly, but then have everything go through those 1 or 2 people. But again, we're here, so utilize us. But yeah, the agendas and the meeting minutes and stuff, super simple to upload those PDF documents.
You're safe, you haven't been, someone hasn't barged in, or what do they call that, fishing or hacking?
Not once.
It's all
No.
secure.
Yeah. That's what that SSL certificate, yeah, fully encrypted, yeah.
Is this in the budget?
It is, well, we have the money in the road paving budget from the savings, so we would be able to do it from there. The current problem that we're having right now is that our website is extremely hard to navigate, and we're being billed every time we update our own site. So over the past 12 months, we have paid $9,739 to update our own site. We did get quotes from 2 other companies, and quantified as did come in as the cheapest quote. And the biggest thing is the hosting and annual maintenance of it, where we would save on this. And if you look back at the 2 companies that we had prior, the current one that we have right now is Creative Works Media. They're not based in America anymore, and we paid $20,000 for that site. And prior to that, we used Civic Plus, which is a very large website. They're more specialized in schools. And back in 2016, we paid $24,000 for that. This does give us the ability to live stream the meetings as well, on top of the Zoom meetings, and the searchability and adding the functions for the documentation. Having 60 pages is it's just unnecessary, and that's one of the biggest complaints we get from residents is that our website is too hard to navigate or it takes too long to load.
Anybody else have any questions?
I do. What townships have you done?
We haven't done any townships. We haven't done any townships. No, we do have government contracts though, with the Monroe County Commissioners, the DA's office, the Monroe County Redevelopment Authority, or the Redevelopment Authority of Monroe County. No townships specifically. Yeah, I mean, we did the fire department's website, and then the Stroudsburg Fire Department's website.
You do the county commissioner's website?
We don't do the county commissioner's website. We do they have a program that's pulled off of there, but the contract is with the DA's office, and all the county commissioners have to sign off on it.
How long have you been in business?
I've been in business for 5 years, but I've been in the industry for coming up on 15.
And I see a proposal here, but I don't really see a contract. Did you send us one?
I didn't know. No, I didn't know that I was supposed to do that until it was
I would
approved.
suggest Leo look at anything before we do anything. And is there, well, I guess you gave us some so we can go jump on somebody's website and see.
Absolutely, yeah.
I would like time to be able to do that.
Well, for what it's worth, the job we did on our fire department's website,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Leo, would we be able to approve this tonight with your oversight, as you approve it or deny it, or should we hold off until you review the contract?
Well, I mean, it's up to the board if you want to do it with my approval. It would make sense to me, however, to get the contract to me or to Jared as soon as you can.
Sure.
I can review it in just 2 weeks from now, have an action, give everybody time to play with the site and navigate whatever they want to do. If 2 weeks is okay, if you can hold your price for 2 weeks, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be fine, yeah.
So work with Jared, and he'll take care of getting a copy of the deal and so on and so forth.
Sure, yeah, I did bring copies for everybody. It has my card in it too, if there's any questions. So I can maybe just leave them down there and you guys can grab them. And if there's any questions, feel free to reach out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we have a hearing tonight, ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance of Pocono Township, Chapter 470, zoning, to amend 470-67F to include both private and public nuisance provisions related to kennels, to amend 470-8 to amend the definition of essential services, and to add definitions for solar arrays, solar farm, and wind turbine, to amend 470-20C, commercial districts, to add solar arrays atop existing commercial buildings as conditional use in said districts, and to amend 470-21I, industrial districts, to add solar arrays atop existing industrial buildings, solar farm, and wind turbine as conditional use in said districts, and repealing all ordinance and part of ordinances inconsistent therewith. With that, I'll make a motion to open the hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries.
Thank you, Rich. Just want to indicate to the board, for purposes of our hearing, this is an amendment to the Pocono Township zoning ordinance. It has been publicly advertised on May 18, 2025, and May 25, 2025. It has been reviewed by the Pocono Township Planning Commission. They had no comments, and Friday the township received Monroe County Planning Commission comments on this ordinance. I can summarize those briefly if you haven't seen them. Comment one is proposed ordinance amendment is generally consistent with the municipality's planning code. Comment two, clarifying land use specifics and inserting additional terms will improve the overall comprehensiveness of the ordinance and prevent potential confusion in the interpretation of issues. Comment number three, recommended the township consider a more comprehensive approach regarding expanding the schedule of uses. An example would be separating accessory solar and wind uses from commercial applications, along with inserting additional supplemental regulations for each use. Comment four, there are no provisions for accessory solar systems within the existing ordinance. It is strongly recommended allowing use for residential commercial solar be considered. The proposed definitions are generally consistent with various county resources. Since if revisions are made to the proposed zoning ordinance, they must be resubmitted to the Monroe County Planning Commission for review prior to adoption. And number seven, the staff has reviewed the proposed amendments and recommends that the adoption be subject to the above noted comments being satisfactorily addressed. So we've met the requirements for consideration of this ordinance, and Mr. President, you should permit public comment at this point.
First, before you go to the public, is there any discussion from the commissioners regarding this?
Yeah, what you were just reading, Leo, is that something we have a copy of?
It was sent to the township on Friday, and I don't know if it was full.
It was not.
Can I just look at what you were reading?
Absolutely.
Monroe County Planning Commission got it to us at the end of the day on Friday.
Our planning commission approved it.
That is correct.
Yes.
Have we done what they're suggesting, or are we not doing what they're suggesting? Because these are like things they're suggesting that we change, right?
Yeah, I guess we have to go back then to the intent of this ordinance. The intent of this ordinance is to try to get ahead of proposed solar fields, windmills, things of that sort, in anticipation of the comprehensive rezone, for which we have a workshop coming up to discuss the volumes on that. But that's a comprehensive. The idea of this was to get something put together to try to make sure the township is protected in between today and whenever the new zoning ordinance is adopted. So the answer to your question, so a roundabout way of saying, those comments are not addressed in the proposed ordinance. They're not required to be. Monroe County Planning Commission is like the Pocono Township Planning Commission. It's a recommending body. It's not an approving body. The Board of Commissioners is the approving body.
Leo, I think I could add a little information on the background here.
Sure.
It's not unusual for zoning ordinances to be somewhat behind the times. So as technology is changing, the land use demands are changing, we're adapting to those, and that's exactly what this ordinance is. As Leo pointed out, there is a complete comprehensive reworking of the ordinance that the Planning Commission and the board is working on now. This is basically a stopgap measure to make sure we're not missing something in the interim while the new ordinance is coming into effect. And it's something I'm seeing in practically all the townships I work in, and we cover 15 municipalities, and they're all concerned about how to deal with grid scale solar and some of the other advances that are happening in technology right now. I mean, we're looking at data centers, distribution centers, all the things that are trending right now, and it's always hard for municipal ordinances to stay caught up to these things. So I think it's a good thing to move this forward as quickly as possible.
So what you're saying is, with the overall comprehensive thing that the planning commission is doing now, these things would be addressed later after today?
In a more nuanced fashion, but for right now, what we're looking at, I think, is a really good measure to address the concerns the township has. And, you know, and we're seeing it in Jackson and Hamilton. I mean, we're seeing this pressure coming from a lot of different places, and making sure we have a clear, concise definition of what these uses are and where they should be taking place in the township. It's good zoning. It's what we need to do.
We have the hearing tonight. Does the vote have to happen tonight too? Or?
Well, doesn't have to happen, but I believe it will happen.
The intent of this, I understand that the township received plans for another solar field on Friday. Okay, we have been monitoring apparently what we've been doing in our public meetings. This ordinance is too late for that potential development. I've discussed some of the issues with Sean, there are issues that we still have, but I expect that we're going to see full rooms, like we did at the planning commission and at site plan review. But they were watching it and came in. The object is to corral or get ahead, I think Sean put it perfectly, to get ahead of the situation. Yes, you can wait on the vote, but if more plans come in, it's the vote and the enactment of the ordinance that sets the standards which need to be followed.
But did I just understand you said plans did come in? Because I was at the planning commission and there were no plans. They came in after the planning commission meeting?
My understanding is they came in late Friday afternoon.
So the planning commission hasn't accepted any plans?
It's the submission of the plan to the township that protects their status.
So what you're saying is whoever put that in, this is not gonna change?
Potentially, it won't change that situation. Potentially. The board would like to meet in executive session, since I might anticipate litigation in this matter, we'd be glad to sit down and discuss.
If we could, Ray, just quickly, because I'd like to understand it.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's up to the board.
Let's hear from the public first before we bring in the executive session. Is there anybody in the public? Is there anybody in the public who wishes to make a comment regarding this matter?
Dean Ware, Pocono Township resident. I think I appreciate the board trying to obviously get this through as a new amendment. I'm very sorry to hear about them submitting a plan on Friday. I was hoping that we'd survive another 5 days from tonight's vote before that happened. I guess since they beat this, what are the chances of this actually being accepted in our ones? I guess it's really my comment or question.
I don't know that I can put a percentage chance on it, but they have come in where they are currently permitted, and they are, I'm not going to, I misspoke. They are alleging that they're permitted in the R1 zone.
Okay.
Township has to look at that.
Okay. So it's because of our current zoning, they can possibly still get away with an essential service or something like that. Or
I believe any further comment should be with my board in executive session.
Okay. Because they'll just destroy us. So.
Yeah, and we appreciate that, which is why we try to do it.
All right, thank you.
I didn't intend to say anything, but I didn't know anything about this until I just just heard something. Mark Love, perhaps an executive session, you can discuss the applicability, if any, pending ordinance doctrine. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to make a public comment or regarding this hearing? We'll adjourn for a few moments into an executive session and we will return.
Oh, don't, I'm a local real estate agent for 25 years, and what I'm coming across now is breaking my heart, because people are making a decision, can they stay in their homes that they've owned for 30 years, or they're gonna lose it to taxes. The library belongs here, instead they're gonna be selling licenses.
It's usually, you know what it is, the PFAS probably, so like that battery.
Okay, we'll get back to the hearing. Is there anybody else in the audience that wishes to make a statement regarding this hearing? Seeing none, I'll ask anybody that dialed in by phone or computer that wishes to make a comment or a concern regarding this hearing.
If anyone dialed in would like to make a comment, please raise your hand.
How y'all doing?
We're doing okay. Can you please
Good.
state your name and address, please, for the record?
Yeah, my name's Jim Pellegrini, 201 Applewood Drive, Stillwater. I'm just curious, are we talking about putting in new solar farms? I didn't quite catch what the gist was.
Yeah, what's being considered by the Board of Commissioners this evening is an amendment to the zoning ordinance that would permit solar fields and windmill arrays in our commercial and industrial district and prohibit them in the residential districts.
Okay, it's got nothing to do with the solar farm that's already in there.
That is correct.
Okay, that's to clear that up. That's cool. All right, thank you very, very much.
Anyone else dialed in who'd like to comment, please raise your hand.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-19, amending the Code of Ordinance of Pocono Township, Chapter 470, zoning, to amend 470-67F to include both private and public nuisance provisions related to kennels, to amend 470-8 to amend the definition of essential services, and to add definition for solar array, solar farm, and wind turbine, to amend 470-20C, commercial district, to add solar array atop existing commercial buildings as a conditional use in the said district, and to amend 470-21I, industrial district, to add solar array atop existing industrial buildings, solar farms, and wind turbines as conditional use in said district, and repealing all ordinances or part of ordinances inconsistent therewith. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carried. Thank you, Don. Have a nice evening. We have two resolutions tonight. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-20 granting conditional approval of 2054 Route 611 minor subdivision LDP 1444. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. John, if we understand, this is for a lot, combined lot line?
This is for Trap Enterprises. A small portion is being subdivided from the PRD project. It's being subdivided from the PRD project and combined with the Zaki Hotel project.
Any questions from the commissioners?
Did we get county comments?
I believe the planning commission approved this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know, but I'm asking, did the county submit
I don't think
comments?
the county has some.
Yeah, the county had submitted their comments prior to the plan commission approval. Sure.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. Make a motion to approve resolution 2025-21 granting conditional approval for the Trap Enterprises Event Center, LZP 1438. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. Under consent agenda, I'll make a motion to approve a consent agenda of the following items. All business consisting of the minutes of the May 19th, 2025 regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners and updated minutes of the May 13th, 2025. Financial transactions through June 2nd, 2025 is presented, including ratification of expenditures in the amount of $503,569.56 for the following accounts: general fund, sewer operations, gross payroll, capital reserve, construction fund transfers. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. We have nothing under personnel, under new business. Under my report, I'll make a motion to approve the new 2025 Peterbilt dump truck upfit. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion?
I thought we already did it when we bought the truck.
Yeah, I thought so too. I figured it's on the agenda for a reason, so Patrick, maybe you want to say something?
Yeah, there was some discussion regarding the color of the truck.
It was an extra $5,000 to change the green.
Yeah, it was an added cost to the outfit to change the green. Following that meeting, I heard from a lot of guys who pointed out some things that I didn't really consider, and they really wanted the board to reconsider having green to conform with the other dump trucks that we have. It was very important.
I think with the money that we saved on renovating this building with the road crew and everybody else, I'll be honest, several years ago, I think when Chief Workheiser was here, we bought a car and we had to pay X number of dollars to have that color to the color that the police cars are today. And the board all agreed to have the new car that was white, so the blue and the red color. So
I have a question for Leo then. Leo, we already voted to have it white. We can change our vote when not everybody's here?
Well, it depends. If it's a new motion, yes. If it's an amendment to the old motion, no.
So the proposal had the paint as an add-on. So it would be voting for add-on to that upfit proposal.
So you removed the paint when you first voted last week, right? That add-on was removed.
Correct.
So now the only issue is not the upfit, whether or not you want to include green paint. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Should the motion be more specific then?
Yes.
So if Michael rescinds the second.
I'll rescind my second.
I'll remake the motion to approve the new 2025 Peterbilt dump truck to be painted.
Do we have a number for that, Patrick?
It was $9,000. I will say, again, we were lucky to find this truck on the floor. To purchase that truck new and order it would cost about $8,000 more than even the upfit with the paint job. So the township is saving money, including this add-on that they choose to go on with the add-on. Because we found this stock unit that was already being played.
I'll add to my motion that it will not cost more than $10,000, just like it's saying.
I'll accept that, I'll second.
Is that suffice?
Yeah, that's fine.
All in favor?
No, wait, we didn't discuss it yet. And I'd just like to say, if we're gonna make a habit of voting for something, and then when not everybody's here re-voting it, I don't think that's a good precedent to set. So, no, I'm sorry, but
You
We're not making a habit of it, we're just doing what seems to make sense.
It's unfortunate those who weren't here, but the truck, we have the truck in hand pretty much done.
we already voted, this has already been adopted.
I'd rather have our employees that have done so much for us and they say no and not do it, but I think it's everything they've done for us in the last year, 2 years, whatever. This is just a small little.
Employees.
Yeah, it kind of does.
When appreciate them, give them a bonus, so they appreciate that.
Well, they're unionized employees, so that would have room.
Could you speak louder, please, because we can't hear?
Is that better? Better? I'm sorry. The volume?
You are, over here.
Anything else, Alan?
That's it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
Nay.
Motion carries. I'll make a motion to replace the sink and faucet in the bathrooms and recarpet the tile and replace the threshold in the library, contingent on them staying in Pocono Township for the life of the existing building. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
What is this?
So the library has sent a few pictures. One is a sink that's in the library that is rusted out. I don't know if it's rusted out beyond use, but it's got some rust and some other, the carpet tiles in the library, I assume, are worn. And the threshold is, just needs to be replaced. So if they're going to stay there for the duration of the building, I'm willing to spend the money to make these repairs. Now, if they decide they're not going to stay, then naturally, there's no sense in doing this.
And Rich, if I might, this is to give Mr. Love and his mediation some room to talk with the library and let us know this, we're not contracting tonight to do these repairs.
That's right. Yes, that's correct. I think he understands that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. I'll make a motion to approve the following, PD policies: community relations, bias-based policing, ride-alongs, generative artifact intelligence, roll call, hazardous material response, mobile fingerprint identification, crime and disaster scene integrity, hostage and barricade incidents, patrol, special weapons and tactic teams, major incident notifications, death investigations, private persons arrest, limited English proficiency, chaplains, public safety, video surveillance, child and dependent audit, adult safety, service animals, volunteers, Native American graves protection and reparations, off-duty law enforcement actions. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion.
Jim, are you okay? Way down there, are you okay with all this?
Yes, thank you.
Well, that's about.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any nays? Motion carried.
Library people left, is it something you said?
But it's one here, it was okay. I'll make a motion to approve administration sign from Lartash Signs, CoStar vendor, for the administrative wing of the new township complex in the amount of $7,559.90. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike.
I kind of thought we already did that too. Did we not do that?
No, it was brought up initially, we never ended up voting on that one, as we were pending the extension of the entrance. We wanted to make sure it would fit, so we did not vote on the administration sign, just the sign up front.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. Natasha's not here, Ms. Gaines?
Yes, I have a few things. What are you, John? The solar field?
Yes, they're still under their cease and desist. The only thing they're permitted to do is, work on reinstalling the necessary ENS controls. They did contact the township, tried to do more work. We said no. We've been making inspections, and they're sticking to reinstalling the necessary ENS controls.
Okay, I did see the report from the DEP about what's in that lake that they ran into. What does that all mean?
I haven't seen the report. I heard it was forthcoming. I haven't received a copy yet.
Okay. Can you get that over to me?
Yeah, we're gonna see that.
It didn't look pretty. But then I don't know how to read it, so when you're over the normal, I don't think that's good.
It's normally not, it's not normal for DEP to issue a report. So the fact that they did, I'm not surprised that there's things in there that are not normal.
So my question was, on that report, it said they had 15 days to reply, and that 15 days is up. So I don't know, can we check to see if they did reply? How does that work?
I can check, I can contact them tomorrow.
That'd be great.
But it may only, I don't know what they're asked to do. They have standardized procedures, which those schedules are set in stone, but you may only have to say that you're gonna do something relatively simple and they're okay with it. So I'll have to see what it says. I'll circulate an email once I have a chance to review it and comment.
And the stamping report's in your inbox.
Okay, thank you.
So now that that ordinance is passed, the kennel can now use that nuisance ordinance, should they have a nuisance?
The zoning would use the ordinance, but nuisances would be reported to zoning. Yeah, if there's perceived nuisances, that would be reported to zoning, and then zoning would investigate and issue an enforcement notice if the violation was present.
So part of the problem with that then would be after hours, right? The nuisance might happen at night or early in the morning, right?
With short-term rentals, we've used police reports to substantiate those. So if the police are called and they observe and document and report that there's excessive, whatever it is, that would be forwarded on to zoning, and then zoning writes on it.
That's correct. So we would get the police report, and we can validate that it is a nuisance complaint, nuisance violation. We will issue a formal enforcement notice. If the violation continues, we will file a civil complaint.
Yeah, it's what we've done for short-term rentals. Typically, zoning doesn't go out there when they're having loud, raucous parties, where we get police reports, and we've actually called, at zoning hearings, we've actually called police officers who have issued reports. So yes, that's how it would happen after hours.
Okay. And then I wanted to discuss, the Knox ordinance. I think we were too hasty when we made that decision, and I know she's not here tonight, Natasha felt it could use some amending. And I just had some notes here, what I'm talking about. News to me, when we met with the firemen, was that the Knox boxes are not utilized in actual fire emergencies, right? If there's a full blaze fire, they're not waiting to get a key, they're knocking the door down, breaking the windows, whatever they need to do. That's my understanding.
But if they have a Knox box, they don't need to wait for it.
Well, they don't wait for a key.
Exactly.
when there's a fire.
Right, but if they have a Knox box, they definitely don't have to wait for it.
Well, but they don't.
Right.
The fire company said they don't wait for a key when there's a natural fire, they go. And I get that, and I appreciate that. So that fact just calls into question the effectiveness, the necessity of making it mandatory. So our ordinance, the way I read it, and Leo, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's only, the only people that need a knock box are those that have an alarm that the fire company would be responding to. It's not for people that do not have an alarm, because that's the way the ordinance was written, the way I read it.
I'm in front of me, Alan, I'd have to look at the ordinance, I'm sorry. I don't have it.
Yeah, I believe that's the way it was written. So if that in fact is, if my understanding is correct, that again is, I think a false alarm is usually just that, a false alarm. So having a Knox box is not really, I don't know what the health would be. You're not saving lives, you're saving property, and I don't know that you have to get penalized for the fire company wasn't able to save your door. I don't think you should have to pay a penalty for that.
We do have some of the fire company line staff here, if there's any questions.
Yeah, I'll just go through my thing and they can answer later, that'll be fine. So that's another thing. The other thing is we already have penalties for false alarms, right? So if people aren't coming, you're waiting. We have an ordinance, we could find it, not the fire company, but the fire company will let us know, and I believe we have a nuisance ordinance, I think that's what we said, right? That we could do that. So we already have a penalty in place that we're not using for these, things. And these knock boxes aren't utilized by the police or emergency services, just the fire company. So we're not trying to save all lives, just in case of a maybe fire or a fire. So it shouldn't be mandatory, I don't. Then there's a financial burden on, some people can afford it, some can't. And then there are some companies that may have a security reason, so we should at least have opt-out options in addition, because I'll use the firm I work for, they're registered with the SEC. That's private, we have to get our mail in the locked box, we can't get our mail in the mailbox. So they don't necessarily want to leave a key outside that you can get in and get everybody's information, potentially. But they do have an alarm, and they have people that respond to the alarm. So if I have an alarm and I've got somebody coming there right away, why would I need to give you the key if I can get somebody there? If people can get somebody there, or if they have somebody on premises 24 hours a day, why would they need a Knox box? It doesn't make sense, and then why would you penalize them for not having one when they're right there to open the door? So I think there's a lot of things we might have missed, and so I think a voluntary program, you want to start out voluntary, see who wants to do it, see how it works. I don't know that we have any history of the fire company of how many times that would have helped them. I don't know. But I just think we should readdress it. So I'd like to know the board's feelings, and then I would like to make a motion. But how does everybody feel? Although we're not all here.
I think we've rehashed this at the last meeting, and I think the opinion of the board was if there's an issue with a business, they should talk to the manager about it and possibly bring it to the commissioners. But if you make it voluntary, I think I guarantee it, no one's gonna put a knockbox out there. It just won't happen. So we're trying to save property and save lives, especially the lives of our firemen who's going to potentially get in there before something gets out of control to extinguish it. So again, I think we rehashed it long enough.
Mike?
I'm all for making it mandatory.
then I'm gonna make a motion to extend the due date until April 15, 2026, so we can hold a work session and work out the specifics with a full board and see if, a majority would like to revise it.
Is there a second? No second, Ellen, your motion fails.
Yeah, Jared, please put that on for next time.
Also, it is up to zoning's discretion to extend the deadline if needed.
Anything else, Ben?
Not that I can think of, I'm sure there was something else, but I can't think of it right now.
Mr. Willard?
Yeah. I want to bring everyone's attention to the amazing job that has been accomplished with the invaluable help of Jared Beltman, our town manager, and basically the general contractor of the renovation to create our new town hall from the former NCC. Jared donated his skills installing the network, Wi-Fi phone system, CCTV, and access control, totaling 223 hours of his own time, and using up 2 of his own vacation days, along with quite a bit of equipment and materials that he donated to this cause. Also, I want to recognize Pat Briegel and the DPW crew. They are the craftsmen that did the majority of the construction work here, especially building this gorgeous dais from scratch. We owe them more than the pay they earned while doing this job. It's truly a work of love and dedication to this town. So thank you all. If any of you are here that were involved with this, Mitch, I see you back there. Lori, thank you. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Jared. Your efforts saved the taxpayers of Pocono Township almost $2 million. So there you go there. Now, I'd like to dispel some rumors being spread by a particular candidate about this board on his Facebook page. It seems that he's trying to put the blame on the board that the library has chosen to leave. Nothing could be further from the truth. As we've said in these meetings time and time again, we've offered to let the library stay as long as they want, and then they can move into Glenwood Hall once it is renovated. We even sweetened the deal by offering the meeting room in the old town hall for art shows and such. All rent-free, utilities free, just like it's always been. They chose to leave anyway, although after tonight, perhaps they'll stick around. That remains to be seen, but I want to get that rumor out of the way. We are not pushing them out. We've been begging them to stay. We didn't stop the Zoom meetings in order to hide anything. We stopped them when the dinosaur system we had in the old town hall broke down. And it didn't seem a good use of the taxpayers' money to repair an ancient system when it would just get us a few more meetings. So it didn't make any sense for us to make those repairs. Our new building has a state-of-the-art system. We can all see that. We will be live streaming the meetings via Zoom, which I don't personally agree with, but I'm only one. We've got lots of comfy chairs. We even have sofas. I see. You're taking advantage of the sofas. And there is not a bad seat in the house. There's not an obstructed view. Everybody can sit and be comfortable. They're a lot more comfortable than the old chairs. And now, one other item. Contrary to what that candidate posited on his Facebook page, with a comment that he conveniently took down because it was an ageist insult against me. He said that I was against transparency because I am, his words, of a certain age. I guess he thinks 66 is too old to understand top technology. Now get off of my lawn.
Did I ever say that?
Yes,
I
you
never
did.
said that.
Oh, you certainly did, Charlie.
I certainly did not. You're saying I deleted it.
Charlie, this is my report.
Okay,
No.
you're lying. I'm
Calm
sorry.
down.
I feel like I have.
I'm not lying, Charlie.
You are
I
lying.
read it. It's my report.
You have proof of that?
Holy shit. Hey.
And a bit of advice for the inexperienced. Before one decides to go for the top gig in town, they should first try volunteering to get a feel for what really is like to serve one's community. I've been a volunteer fireman since the 70s. I served the planning, UCC, and zoning hearing boards here in Pocono Township for a combined almost 15 years before running for this esteemed position. One does not go right from high school to the NFL. And that's just $1 worth of free advice from your old Dutch uncle. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Rich, I had one more thing, if I may.
Yes, sir.
I want to talk about PennDOT and the property maintenance along the 715 mess. The grass is high. We have a property maintenance ordinance that needs to be cut down. It may be impeding the view of the site vision. And there's still the mess from that sign all splintered on the embankment that needs to be cleaned up. And what can we do about that? Leo or John?
Well, I know that, correspondence with the contractor to tell them to maintain those properties, to get a brush hog out there, to cut that high grass down, and to remove the items that Ellen, I think you saw it with the contractor on site. I think between Jared and Patrick, they've had conversations with the contractor, but to pass that on to them and say, look, you guys gotta knock this down, especially with the wet season we've been having, it's a harbinger for mosquitoes.
They need the businesses take down their signs, and they're not even there. I mean, they could have left them up until they were actually ready, because there's no reason those signs couldn't have stayed up. So they're being a bad neighbor, and they are a government entity. I think they should be doing some public service. So can we,
I know Lindsay had gone out and inspected the stage area near the stream bank and didn't see any issues, albeit it doesn't look good. We also looked at the drainage on the other side with the swell that they've created, and that drainage is adequate. We could reach out to Leeward, the contractor, to see if they can clean it up a bit, because you're right, it is a horrible eyesore. But we did not find any zoning violations. I mean, that would go against our property maintenance ordinance. All we can do is really reach out to PennDOT. I'll give you a little more of an update with PennDOT projects that are coming up under my report, but PennDOT is not always the most responsive or communicative.
yeah, I think the people that had the sign used to cut the grass, so they could see the sign. So, I mean, I don't know if we can cut the grass, but it's just, PennDOT should be doing it, or Leeward, or whoever.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, on that end, PennDOT had allotted us such a large timeline, they've actually demobilized their crew and is now working on the Avoca Airport project. They will be back in September, and that's why they had pushed the detour back. So they're currently working on the bridge, but that whole side, that whole mountain cut is all pushed off. But Matt and I'll reach out to Jesse and see if we can get anything completed.
Anything else?
I have one more thing, if I may. It's a bit of a public service announcement. Golden Slipper Road, over by Colonial Auto, will be closed as of June 16th in both directions for a minimum of 2 months to facilitate moving pipes around and drainage and sewer line, I guess, and whatever for the new hospital. It's going to be a fun summer. It's going to be a nightmare for the fire department because, well, some of the back roads are not very friendly. So, I forgot to mention that.
You stole my thunder, Mike.
Oh, sorry. I live there, so you know.
Okay, moving on, reports zoning. Sean, do you have anything for us tonight? I know we have a report in the packet.
Rich, I don't have anything outside what's in the report. If anybody has specific questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Does any of the commissioners have anything for Sean? Sean, thank you. Fire reports, operations, correct? police report. Chief, I guess you have a report for us tonight?
I do not. I will have a report for the next meeting, summarizing the stats for the month of May. Thank you.
Does anybody have anything for the chief? Township manager, Mr. Belvin.
Real quick, Mr. President, a lot of the fire companies here tonight. Anything else you guys wanted to report on that? I know, what is the next meeting? For the July meeting, will be the next quarterly.
July will be the order for second quarter.
All right, anything you guys needed to report?
No.
All right, a couple quick updates. Update on the Green Light Go. The Lower Swiftwater Road Green Light Go is now adaptive and talking to the Discovery Drive. We have applied all but one final payment to Telco, our contractor on that. We did receive the firewall update today, so we can log into the telemetry of the Econo-Light system. So we are ready to go online. The donation for the MyoVision system for the 611 and the Amigos light is still pending, and we expect that to be installed in July. Quick grants update. We did get awarded the $200,000 Laurel Lake Road Drainage Project grant as of last week. We had submitted for countywide LSA last September, and we just found out that that was approved. So John will end up working with Pat to come up with some more drawings and start going through the easements. And we don't have a timeline on whether that would start this year, but it does get us closer to rectifying the dam issue for, not only the Property Owners Association, but for our fire department as well.
Are we gonna bid that out, or are we gonna use our own internal?
It really all depends on our workload. It is something that our crew could do in-house. We'll have a further update for you once we get through a couple of the other projects.
When does that grant expire? When do we have to use it by?
We can submit extensions, I don't want to say for perpetuity, but we're still extending the LSA monies for the Lerm Road roundabout and also for the Rimrock Road roundabout. So we are on year 6 with the Rimrock Road extension, so generally we don't see any issues with that.
If I could just add, I would like to do as much of that work in-house as we can. That's going to be subject to the scope once John and I get a chance to review it. But I know our guys are very capable, and we can save the township a lot of money. So that would be my objective.
Overall, we had submitted for 4 grants this year and 2 that we had submitted halfway through the year last year. So far, year to date, Pocono Township has been awarded $230,000 in grant funds this year alone. Police building update. We did get the cost study back from the architect last week, and it was much more favorable results than we expected. In discussions with the architect, we are still on track for the police to move in December of 2026. On Wednesday, we had a meeting with the architect and bond counsel, Jens Bumgarner, and Zach Willer from PFM. So I will have a update and the motion to go out for bond to fund that at the next meeting. As you can see, we are in here. We officially moved in on Friday and still working some of the bugs out. They just finished painting the back today, and the public works crew will be doing the bottom 2 parking lots next week. But thank you, Commissioner Velarde. But I truly could not have done it without Patrick and his staff. Everything you see here was done in-house. This giant DS that you see here, we had gone out for a quote and we came back at $120,000. This was built for under $30,000. So that's just one of the things that's been done. All this flooring that you see, the walls, the sheetrock, the sidewalks, the new paving job, everything.
The light, ceiling fan.
Ceiling tiles, lights, everything. If you remember last year, we received close to $4,000 worth of rebates by going energy efficient on this side, and just a big labor level. We're very blessed to have such a robust public works crew. Some are great at carpentry, some are great at electrical, some are great at flooring. So just a thank you, public works crew, on that. And last thing I have is just some of the PennDOT projects. Follow up what Commissioner Ganant had said. Unfortunately, they've pushed the closure of 715 detour back to September. It's out of our purview, unfortunately. They are still working within the PennDOT guidelines. PennDOT continues their project for the drainage on the Route 611 right near Pocono Farm Stand and Vinegar Insurance, and they've been working with Pat now with our sewer lateral right there. And then just this morning, we were alerted that Golden Slipper Road will be closing in 2 weeks for 2 months. So unfortunately, we did not receive any communication from PennDOT. We do attend their annual projects conference over in August, which we did attend, and this was not listed. Some of this is for drainage, some of it is road improvements for the new hospital, but it was a little disheartening to find that out this morning. And last update we have is just PennDOT will be paving Route 715 from Mountain Road up to Sullivan Trail. Jackson Township work will take place in the day, and Pocono Township work will take place at night. And barring any other questions, that is all I have.
What's the detour for Golden Silver?
Static road.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and then that itty bitty one-lane bridge over Reader's Lawn.
So unfortunately, technically, that is the detour, but PennDOT cannot use
Township road.
township roads. They have to use state roads.
That's how people are going. Yeah, that's how I'm doing it.
But it's, the good thing is it's planning on being done before the buses start up again, but I feel very sorry for the businesses that are gonna be affected, that had no notification whatsoever.
You have the police update, or something, did I miss something?
Just that we received the cost study back, and that we'll have a cost breakdown for the administrative wing at the next meeting, and we'll also have the motion to go out for bond at the next meeting as well.
Okay. Does anybody have anything for Jared? Public Works, Mr. Brayman?
Thank you, sir, and thanks to the board and Jared and everybody for their appreciation of the work that's gone in this building. My guys are fantastic. I say it every time I'm up here, they're really good at what they do, and they're very skilled. But I think most important, they have a desire to really do this for the township, so it's been a pleasure. It's always been a pleasure working with these guys, so I hope everybody else appreciates that. Just a couple items. As Jared said, we've been very busy putting the finishing touches on this building, getting ourselves moved in here. It's kind of crazy the last 2 weeks, I'm not gonna lie. But we're probably 98% of the way there, I would say. Jared certainly leading by example. The hours that he put in here, impressive. So, couple items real quick on the sewer side. We got the HMI system moved today, which was something that I was a little concerned with, but it went very smoothly. So that's one additional thing off my plate I'm happy about. We are almost finished with the sewer and water service. The central sewer and water service plan for this building. There's one additional small piece of easement that I need to secure that I'm going to be working on this week. Flow meter installation for pump station 5 will be completed this Wednesday. So if you see activity down at Bartonsville, pump station 5, that's what we'll be working on. And then just a couple other items. Park guys under Brian's leadership and of course Jen's leadership are doing a great job. Splash pad open Saturday, Memorial Day weekend with no issues. we were scrambling, we found some things over the winter that we had to address. They were addressed quickly. Thank you to Strand Pools for their support in that regard. And I've noticed, and I heard from board members regarding our ball fields, infields, that have been inundated with the spring that we've had with rain. So we will be working on those infields as soon as things dry out, which hopefully will be in the next couple of days. That's my report. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Do we have anything for Patrick? Patrick, thank you very much for all you're doing.
Thank you.
Township events report, Ms. Gambino.
Thank you. We have our touch truck event this Saturday at 10 a.m. It will be rain or shine. Looking at the weather, it looks like it's actually going to stop for that period of the actual event. Hopefully that's how it stays. June 12th, we have our first concert in the park. If you guys have taken a ride down 611 today, you will notice that some of our DPW guys have changed out our banners. We have designed new ones due to the rough winter we had with the wind. A lot of them ripped, and since they were kind of outdated, Jared and I sat down with Barnesville Printing and used a local guy and designed some new banners. So hope you guys enjoy those, that new view along 611. And the last thing I have is a motion to waive the pavilion fees for Pocono Mountain East Odyssey of the Mind.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. Does anybody have anything for Jen?
What time on Saturday?
10 to 2.
What time do I need to be
Like 9:30.
there? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Township engineer, Mr. Tresson.
Thank you, Rich. I don't have a lot to report on this evening. Pat covered the sewer work. We're helping Pat with that, and we're working on the expansion in the two opposite ends of the township. Nothing new in the Learn Road Safety Program, TASA project. We're continuing to work through the process on that. We are changing our focus a little bit to the bridges in the township. We've got 3 that we have to address because of the bridge report that we got. That includes Lower Scott Run Avenue, Cranberry Bog, and Staden Road. So I'm looking at those. I'm also starting to look at alternatives to the walking bridge at TLC Park. Regarding Lower Scott Run Avenue, we did meet with Monroe County Conservation District to see if we could get any help from their dirt and gravel program, their low volume highway program, but they could only provide money for things that we're not sure we need to do. The things that we do have to do, doesn't qualify under their program. So we tried, but that didn't work out too well. So that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Any questions for John? John, thank you very much. Township solicitor, Mr. President.
There's one more thing for John.
Yeah, so it's not on the agenda, but from last meeting, the Sylvan Cascade report, the road paving in Paradise Township.
Yeah, I can give you an update on that. I don't know, I wasn't here at the last meeting, Amy was here, but to summarize, the township has been sharing costs with Paradise Township for Sylvan Cascade Road. And for years and years, going back to the 70s, it appeared that Sylvan Cascade Road would crisscross the township municipal line based on liquid fuels mapping at the time. When Mr. Griggle was out there, he found some monumentation for the township line that appeared to suggest that maybe there wasn't as much roadway in Pocono Township as originally was thought, and he asked me if I could do some research, which I did. I researched courthouse records, and over the past, since the 80s, there's been about 4 subdivisions along Sylvan Cascade Road that has spanned both Paradise and Pocono Townships. Those are plans of record. prepared by reputable surveyors in the area. And those plans did show the location of the municipal line, and the plans also stated with notations that that line was based on actual field survey. And in reviewing those plans and reviewing other GIS data, it's my belief, also as a surveyor, that the township dividing line that's shown on the liquid fuels map is incorrect, that the one that is shown on the Monroe County GIS mapping is correct, and as such, the cost sharing that Pocono Township has to participate with is much less than what they've been doing over the years. So that's what I found in my report.
Has anybody reached out to Paradise to tell them?
Yes, I've been in communication with Peter Johns.
How was that received?
We let them know ahead of time that that was happening, so, they fully understood. There was a court order that had been issued from the 70s that nobody can seem to find. I know Leo's firm reached out to Prothonotary and tried to dig as much as they could, but the Prothonotary was not able to find it either. So, but either way, we did tell Paradise that we will make good on our share, and as of now, they're not planning on debunking that. So we're lucky to have a good relationship with them.
Thank you very much. And just to put that to a dollar figure, the cost savings is over $100,000 to Pocono Township from what was being requested and what had been done in the past. So thanks for your help on that, John. And,
Mr. DeVito? Thank you, Rich. Sewer business update. I want to coordinate a meeting with Patrick and Mike Gable to have a more full report on the status of Kalahari situation. I know there's been ongoing conversations between the engineers, but I'd like to be brought to be updated on that. We had a zoning hearing last week. It involved Brooklyn Fireworks and their trailers that were parked behind their building. I want to thank publicly Sean McGlynn and his team for their testimony. We were able to have his enforcement notice upheld, and they have a choice now to either remove the trailers or appeal to the Court of Common Pleas. But the hearing was won by the township. No further updates on Archer Lane. Warren Road, we're having ongoing conversations with the property owners in order to acquire the properties necessary for the roundabouts. I know that on Natassa, that Lisa has had conversations and virtual meetings with PennDOT, and that process continues to move forward. And then finally, at least subject to questions, obviously, I just want to say that I've been fortunate to represent Pocono Township since it became a first-class township in 2014. Since that time, there's been numerous conversations, numerous architectural renderings, and constant discussion about finding a location and moving to a newer municipal building. I want to say congratulations to Jerry, Patrick, Public Works, and all that they've done, and that and I do a lot of municipal meetings, but this is an absolutely impressive facility that I think represents the Board of Commissioners and Pocono Township extremely well. Congrats to all those involved, starting with the commissioners and working through everybody else. But congrats to everybody involved on what I think is a fabulous facility that will only continue to move Pocono Township forward for decades to come. So, subject to any questions, that's my report.
Leo, thank you very much for all your comments and all your support over the last 10 years. And continued support also. Does anybody have anything further? With that, public comment? Anybody in the audience wish to make a public comment?
Charles Kepler, taxpayer. I could stand up here all night and rebut Mr. Velarde's claims, but I would just encourage anyone who's curious about what happened to please visit my Facebook page, Charles Kepler for Pocono Township Commissioner. You can find my post that begins "Elections Have Consequences," and I encourage you to read my post and read the comments and my interaction with Mr. Velarde. I promise I did not delete any comments. I have no idea what he's talking about. The only thing I believe I was wrong about in that post was that the board would not be approving the stormwater waiver on the Trapped Event Center, which was approved this evening without any discussion unanimously. So I really had hoped that the board would at least, give some discussion to the idea of granting another stormwater waiver after just a few meetings ago. You all were talking about how a recent stormwater system had failed and dumped water onto our roadways and caused a washout. We should be building stormwater systems that can accommodate 100-year storms, 200-year storms. We shouldn't be granting waivers that are going to put strain on our local creeks, create erosion, and put strain on our local stormwater systems, our public stormwater systems. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.
Anyone else in the audience want to say a couple times?
I'll say something here. So we'll start with, I'm not much of a public speaker, right? But yeah, I'll sit back. I was gonna say, when I speak from the back, I would speak from the back, but
You are in it.
as I guess I could say representative from the road department here as your assistant foreman, the paint on the truck.
Mitch, for the people who don't know you.
Yeah, Mitch Bartholomew, assistant road foreman for the road department. The paint for the truck might sound like a big number to swallow, but we take pride in the trucks. You guys have bought us state-of-the-art, stuff over the years, and these guys wax, wash, vacuum, top to bottom of these trucks. By painting and creating instead of white, it really goes a long way, and we appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's all I have to say.
Hey, you done
And
good.
you all look good behind the table, by the way. Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience? Yes.
Karen Zelida.
And I'm a taxpayer. Patrick.
Yes.
I asked you back in the winter about the sign on Staten for the slow corner before the hidden driveways. Can you please get that done in 2 weeks? Since the traffic is gonna be horrendous. And at the bridge, if you could do yield on the road. They go crazy. Nobody yields like way back. They try to crash.
I was just gonna ask that question to our engineer. Is that, what's the process?
Yeah, I don't know. Let me take a look there. I'll be up here this week. I'll take a look at the road, and maybe just an email will be all we need.
Okay.
It's bad enough now, but with 2 months of Golden Slipper and Bartonville Woods Road,
Understood.
it's gonna be terrible. And thank you guys for passing the nuisance ordinance. I hope it, works. Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience?
Kyle Hazelton, resident. Just have a quick question. I've actually been on the phone with you a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. As far as ordinance, as far as chickens are concerned, I've heard that there's supposed to be something coming forward to the board. Just kind of curious on timeline, time frame, and where that can be accessed.
So there is a Board of Commissioners and Planning Commission workshop. There will be ongoing workshops. The first one will be at 5 o'clock on June 23rd.
Okay.
Chickens are a little lower on this was a two-year-long rewrite, so everything from soup to nuts is in this. But I would recommend that anyone interested in it.
I did phone the township office this morning, or this afternoon actually, and they said it was going to be presented today, so it's hopefully here.
No, unfortunately, nothing on
No worries.
nothing on chickens this
Okay.
evening. But I would recommend that anyone who's interested in the township and the ongoing changes would start to attend those sessions. They will be once a month on the fourth Monday at 3 o'clock.
Awesome, thank you.
So can I ask you a question? What's your interest in chickens?
I currently have chickens. And when I first moved to, the area, I mean, I'm not from around here, originally from Southern California, lived abroad. Anyway, I've always raised my own, from chickens to pigs to cows, I mean, and, I have one of the original farmhouses in the county. And I did my original due diligence, and I could have swore I saw I was allowed 5, and then I get an ordinance that I'm not allowed any. So I'm now in a.
If you'd like to share your email with me, I can show you what the planning commission has currently proposed.
No worries.
Sean, does our ordinance does not allow any chickens?
Not on a residential property. Poultry is the type of livestock, and so it would have to be on an approved agricultural property. So one of the things the planning commission and I believe the board is looking at is so that homeowners, can have a certain number of chickens as long as they're contained on the property. We have a number of townships that are adopting or amending their ordinances to allow for that, and I think, that would certainly work nicely for this resident as well as a number of residents. It's definitely something that, again, we're seeing all these changes in technology, but we're also seeing kind of a retro idea that people should be able to raise their own food, and there's a lot of benefits.
Yeah, a lot of people would like to.
So I believe that's, we're moving in that direction, and I told this gentleman that it was a good idea for him to become involved and engaged in the process.
I mean, and I will put it out there that Chestnut Hill Township, I mean, they're pretty well ironclad. If you have a quarter acre, you're allowed 2. For every 1/8 of an acre above that, you're allowed an extra 1. I mean, that makes it real.
But currently, the way the planning commission has tentatively approved it from their end does allow for poultry within Pocono Township. So,
Where can you send that to me?
yeah, and that's what's proposed.
Okay.
It hasn't been accepted by the board yet, but I will.
Awesome.
I will get that email.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for your time.
Yes, sir. Anyone else in the audience? Seeing none, anybody dialed in by phone wishes to make a public comment?
Anyone dialed in by phone who wishes to make a public comment, please raise your hand.
Hearing none, I'll make a motion that we adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. Thank you for coming, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the chairs and the ambiance.
We have all the-